This week, happy 503 Day to all who celebrate. Dust Moto, building an EV dirt bike. I'd love to see you speak at WordCamp US. NedSpace could be your new space. Oregon's Drone Accelerator now has a new executive director and some potential networking help, especially for you. Let's get into it. Hello. You look good. You've been working out or something? It's May already. I'm not quite sure how that happened. I mean, technically, I recognize how the passage of time works. I'm just a little bit confused as to how we're in May. Thanks for making time to be here. It's another week, another exciting week in the Portland startup community. You may know today as the prequel to Star Wars Day, or Cinco de Mayo Eve, third day of the fifth month of the year, will from now on be known as 503 Day. 503 Day, according to CityCast Portland, is a new and totally real holiday specifically designed for Portland. An official Portland holiday. Why? I don't know why. They just thought, Portland's been through a lot. I can't disagree. Portland has been through a lot. They thought we deserved our very own holiday for Portland, 503 Day, not 305 Day, which would be something that Pitbull would want to champion. But the folks at CityCast Portland, if you're not familiar with them, they've got a great podcast. It comes out every day, and I will link up their 503 Day celebratory advice telling you what to do today. Hopefully you can get some of that done. Hopefully you can experience Portland the way other Portlanders suggest that you do. Happy 503 Day to you, however you choose to celebrate it, or if you choose not to celebrate, that's fine too. Word around the campfire is they were even working on a new motto for Portland, which if you don't know, the motto for Portland is the city that works. And if you're like, where did the 503 come from? Area code. Old school co-working space that managed to survive for years and years, even throughout the pandemic. NedSpace is back, or kind of back. I mean, it's been here the whole time, but it's really nice to see the energy coming back to NedSpace. It was such a critical and formative part of the Portland startup community in the early years. As I may have talked about before, the folks at NedSpace are kind of the reason that the Portland Seed Fund exists, because they had put a lot of time and energy into campaigning for a fund to invest in local companies, and the Portland Seed Fund was stood up to manage that fund. So a little bit of NedSpace history for you there, but the founder, Mark Grimes, sold NedSpace and to another owner, and then that owner has now sold it to a new owner. And the new owner is really reinvigorating the space with energy and really returning to it being a community asset for the use of the Portland startup community. If you have an event or events and you're looking for space to host them, NedSpace has raised their hand as a potential host for you. Please check them out. Great co-working space, great event space. So whether you need somewhere to host your event or you simply need somewhere to work, please take a look at the longest running co-working space in Portland, NedSpace. Just subscribe. Just click subscribe. You'll be here every week. It'll be great. I promise. Do you use WordPress? Well, in case you haven't heard, WordCamp US 2024, the largest gathering of WordPress type people in the United States, will be coming right here to Portland in September. But that event is pretty boring if they don't have any speakers. This is where you come in. I think you have a very interesting perspective. Because of that, I think you should submit a talk for WordCamp US. You just got to get on it, because May 6th is the due date for WordCamp US presentations for 2024, which would be your chance to potentially talk to all kinds of WordPress users and WordPress developers from around the United States, perhaps some folks from even outside of the US who travel to WordCamp US to meet with their peers. Now, if the typical presentation format where you lecture people with a slide deck and those kind of things doesn't appeal to you, they also have another format called the campfire format, which is more of a group discussion dynamic. Those applications don't close until May 13th. I just stumbled upon this one during a random search, but did you realize there's a company in Bend, Oregon called Moto that is making an EV dirt bike? Yeah, it's true. They're making everything into EVs these days. You know, you got the e-bikes, you got the EV cars, you've got that truck we don't need to talk about, not the Rivian, the other truck. You got Photon Marine here in town that's making EV outboard motors for boats, EV all over the place. So it only stands to reason that somebody would look to make an EV dirt bike. Now, if you are a fan of the off-road vehicles, especially the two-wheeled ones, and want to consider purchasing a Moto bike, they currently have a crowdfunding campaign, plan to have those in production and off the line by summer of 2025. So if you want to start planning to do some dirt biking in an eco-friendly way come summer 2025, I suggest you head on over to Moto and put some money down on a new EV dirt bike built right here in Oregon. Remember the Oregon UAS accelerator I was talking about a few weeks back? You know, the Unmanned Aerial Systems, as we like to refer to them colloquially, drones. Yeah, there's a drone accelerator for Oregon. It's out in Pendleton. Provides a huge range, flight paths, mentorship, funding, typical accelerator stuff. The accelerator's brand new, and now that accelerator has a brand new executive director. That's right, Joseph Waino has been named the new executive director of the Oregon UAS Accelerator. Joseph has substantial experience as a startup founder himself, but also a ton of experience working in a startup accelerator. So I'm really looking forward to what he's able to do with this super unique and compelling program out in Pendleton. Portland is not a great networking town just in terms of opportunities to network, but even when those opportunities to network arise, many of us, me included, are very poor at doing the whole networking thing. Well, if you want to get better, and you feel like you could use a little guidance and mentorship and training, there's a new workshop called Equitable Networking that's coming up for you to learn more about feeling comfortable in the room, how to start conversations, how to approach people, really teaching you how to be comfortable and more yourself in those high-stress networking environments. So if you're interested in getting a little more training and getting a little better at networking, please check out Equitable Networking. It's a workshop that's coming up in mid-May. This week was the 1st of May, and Mayday always makes me think of Mayday, but Mayday Deep Space, a video game that was built for the iOS platform, but also because it was such a unique game for that point in time. I think it was 2015 that game originally came out. I think the most compelling aspect of it was all driven by voice. Hey Siri. Today, we live in a day and age where you're used to hollering at Siri, hey Siri, talking to an Alexa device and using your voice to drive any number of devices. But in that day and age, a decade ago, that was far less common. So having a video game where you directed your character simply by hollering into your phone was not only challenging, it was pretty entertaining. I don't think it's any longer available. I don't think you can get to it on the App Store, but maybe take a look at some of the interesting voice-driven video game development that took place here in Portland nearly a decade ago. I hope your stuff's going well. I hope you're hanging in there. And I hope you sincerely have a great 503 day. Until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work. Yes, a lot happened this week, it's true, but a lot happened that week too. So go ahead and watch this video and get even more insights about what's going on in the Portland startup community.